Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to learn how to calculate the depreciation schedules for the reducing balance method. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the channel and give me a thumbs up if you learned anything from today's video. Let's go. This is the Excel file we're going to use to calculate our depreciation schedules using the reducing balance method. And what do we have in here? We have four inputs. First one is the asset lifetime, which is 15 years. Then we have the reducing balance multiple, which you're going to see in a moment what that is. Next, we have the asset value. In this case, we're going to assume the value to be $1 million. Then we have the residual value, which is going to be the value of the asset once the lifetime has gone by. In this case here, we're going to assume $100,000. Depreciable value, it is the difference between the asset value and the residual value. In this case here, as you can see in the formula, it's going to be $900,000. Then I calculate depreciation percentage, which is 26.67%. How do I get there? It's going to be 1 over the asset lifetime, which is 15, multiplied by the reducing balance multiple, which is 4. Then we're going to give that we're going to depreciate this asset at a rate of 26.67%. So let's see how to plug these numbers in our depreciation schedule. If you recall from our straight line video, and if you haven't watched it, I recommend you to do so and learn how to do the straight line depreciation method by clicking the links below. You will remember that we have an open book value and an end book value. For the open book value, essentially what you're getting is what is the book value of the asset at the beginning of the period. And as you can see here, it reduces as the years go by. And for years 2, 3, 4, and 5, we're always referring back to the end book value of the previous period. As you can see here in the formula, reference the end book value from the previous period. Then, for the end of the book value, what we have is the difference between the open book value and the depreciation. So this is pretty straightforward and very easy to calculate. The question now is how to write the formula so that we can properly calculate the depreciation. Let's see how that goes. The first thing to notice in here is that we are going to depreciate the asset at 26.67% of the open book value. This is a difference from the straight line depreciation where we depreciate the asset out of the depreciable value, which in this case here is $900,000. For the reducing balance method, we always depreciate the asset based on the open book value. So for this particular method here, you should always have a schedule with the open book value. Otherwise, you're not able to calculate it. Then we need to be mindful of two things. The first thing being that we should not have any depreciation near zero, or we should not have any depreciation after year 16. And the last thing is that on the year where the lifetime gets to an end, the depreciation should be equal to the open book value so that we get to an end book value of 0. Let's see how we can satisfy these three conditions. Let me go here to the cell and press F2. So what do we have? We're going to have two ifs in the formula. And the first if, we're going to check whether or not the year which we are calculating the depreciation for is 0. And if it's 0, it's going to return 0 as a result of the formula. And this is the case for the cell H12. Then we're going to have a second if statement. And what we're going to check in here? We're going to check whether or not we have reached the last year or the asset lifetime year, which is 15. And if you have done it, we're going to say that the formula is going to be equal to the open book value. Because as I told you, in the very last year of the operational asset, we should fully depreciate it. And that's exactly what I'm checking in here. And if we are not in this condition, we're going to multiply the depreciation percentage by the open book value, which should be the case for the years 1 to year 14. And that's exactly what we have in here. In this case here, different from what we're doing the straight line, we do not need to check if the year we're calculating depreciation is beyond the lifetime year. Because when you do depreciate everything on the last year of operation, we guarantee that the end book value is zero. Therefore, there will never ever be a year after the lifetime year that's going to have any open book value. Just one more thing I want to do. I'm going to plot here for you guys to see how the depreciation goes for the reducing balance. As you can see, there's a very steep declining where in the first years there's a lot of depreciation, and then depreciation reduces until the very last year where it depreciates the remaining value of the asset. This brings some benefits to the asset owner. What we're going to do and study this in a later video. For now, what you need to know is that for the reducing balances depreciation method, the depreciation the first year is very high and it reduces quite significantly as the years go by until the end of the lifetime of the asset where we depreciate the remaining value of the asset. So that's it for today. I hope you have enjoyed. Please subscribe to the channel and give a thumbs up if you learned anything from today's video. See you later.